Peace, y'all. Peace to everyone coming into the chat. Peace to everyone that is watching the replay. Thank you for watching and listening. So it's 1:20 in the morning, and I should be in the bed sleeping, but I'm not because my mind is racing. And I'm up thinking about this tragic incident that has happened today in Flint on 810 day. So first, let me backtrack for a second and share a quick story about my boys. So earlier this afternoon, my boys and I were traveling from the masjid, coming from Arabic class, going home. And we drove past Ballinger Park. Um, and someone was having an event in Ballinger Park. I was trying to figure out if it was a community event or a private event, but there were bounce houses, a lot of people out there, and I'm just talking out loud, trying to figure out what's going on at the park. And I guess my boys thought that I would be pulling over. And one of them, I can't remember which one, but one of my boys was looking and asked the question, how many Black people are at the park? So it shocked me that he asked that because that question dictates to me that he's determining that safety is a factor in how many people are at a place or a space or an event. So if it was too many Black people, then it's going to be unsafe. I can't even remember how I addressed that. I'm going to be honest with you. I remember being shocked, and I can't remember how I responded. But then the conversation went to 810 day and going downtown and trying to see some of the rappers perform, etc. Whatever's going downtown, only one of my sons wanted to go see. Let me point that out. And that's my 12-year-old son. And I was not interested because I had things to do at the house, as well as it was just too hot. My oldest son, my 15-year-old, flat out said that he didn't want to go. And my 10-year-old, my karate kid, he said he did not want to go. So I told my 12-year-old, call your dad and ask him if he would take you. And so I know that my 15-year-old, ever since that incident where we were at, I forget the name of the park, I think it's called Memorial Park, um, maybe 2 weeks ago, the incident was where they were running for their lives, right? After the fight broke out and the young man that got jumped, he threatened to air out the park. So it's still, understandably, it's still trauma there. So my son, my 15-year-old, that was really affected by that experience. He was determined not to participate in 810 day. Okay, fine. So fast forward to the evening. My 15-year-old comes into the den hyped up, And he's like, "I told you, mama. I told you. I told you somebody was gonna get hurt. I knew it. I knew we shouldn't have went to A10 day." And he's showing me comments that his friends on social media are making about people have shot into a crowd of people. Somebody got stabbed in the head. And then it came out that a little girl got shot. And then after that, it came out that unfortunately, um, allegedly, this little girl transitioned. She passed away. So let me first stop and say that if this is true that the little girl passed away, I extend my condolences to the family. From God we come, and surely to God is our return. I cannot even imagine that happening to one of my children, to anyone in my own family, anyone that I personally know. That is devastating to be somewhere, minding your business, thinking that you are out having fun with your family, with your loved ones, and something tragic like that happens. Let me also say that I also extend my condolences to everyone that was out there that experienced that trauma, to everyone that it has affected, including the police officers, including the paramedics, including the hospital staff that had to work on that baby. Everything you do in life affects others around you, whether you know them or you don't know them. Everything that you do. So, my highest thoughts and my highest prayers go out to everyone that is affected by this, even to people that are experiencing this as a secondary trauma that's not even in Flint, that's hearing the news of another senseless act of violence. To everyone that is feeling the sadness, to everyone that is having flashbacks of their own loved ones going through this same thing of being shot or killed or any type of trauma, I extend my highest thoughts and prayers to you. So, this is why I am up close to 1:30 in the morning, because this is such a shock. And I would like to know, how long we going to keep at this until we return to God? Flint, you have forgotten about God. I don't want to hear not one person say anything negative about spirituality, about religion, about whatever spiritual authority or spiritual law that exists. Because it is apparent that these spiritual laws need to be followed, and they're not being followed. You have forgotten about your creator. You've forgotten about God. Now I'm going to go here. Some of us, a minority of us, just participated in the interfaith 7-day prayer and fasting. That flyer was circulated But how many people really participated? I did not hear not one podcast talking about it. I did not hear not one politician talking about it. I didn't hear the mayor talking about I didn't hear not one religious leader talking about it. And when I say religious leader, I'm speaking of all religious leaders, whether you are a pastor in a Christian church or an imam in a masjid. When you have done everything else, when you have had town hall meetings, when you have cut up, screamed, yelled, hooped, and hollered at city council meetings about the violence, when you have done this and that and it hasn't worked, when you have dogged out the chief of police for not having produced a safety plan and that hasn't worked, when will you, what will it take for you to turn back to God? How long will it take for you to actually be proactive in your spirituality? And I'm talking about going beyond showing up for church service on Sunday, going beyond showing up for prayer service on Fridays for the Muslims. When are you going to sincerely pray and fast? When are you going to take your spirituality seriously? When are you going to use your spirituality as a tool for you to bring the good to yourself, your family, and your community? How much more senseless, violent situations will we have to endure before Flint as a whole comes back to common sense, comes back to the realization that you need God? How much more gutter can Flint get? Can't you see that your idol worshiping of your ego, of materialism, of money, of politicians is not working for you? It's not working for us. Your idol worship of your alcohol, your substance abuse, whether it be crack or your prescription drugs, it's not working. It's not working. So when are you going to take God seriously? Don't say tomorrow, because it's not a guarantee that you'll be here tomorrow. Not the way people are dropping like flies around here. Every single day we are hearing someone else has passed away. Quit putting off God. Quit putting off your responsibility to God. Quit putting your soul off. How much more partying can you do? How much more alcohol can you drink? How much more of this fake marijuana that they're allowing you to buy can you smoke? your chemical induced marijuana. How much more do you need? And you got the nerve to call that medicine? And it's not even real marijuana? And you can't function without it? And you can't function without alcohol? Hmm. Don't you know that when you submit yourself to these substances, that it opens you up to evil? You don't even have control over yourself. And so it opens you up to be spiritually attacked. But nah, maybe I'm saying too much truth. Maybe I'm the crazy one. Maybe I talk too much spirituality, so maybe I need to be quiet. This is ridiculous. It's a shame. Let me see if I have anyone in the chat. Peace to everyone in the chat. Peace to No Name, Little Mama. Peace to Brandon. Peace to Tamaya, T from the D. Peace to Serenity and Peace. So according to what Serenity and Peace is saying, from the video that's going around, is also 2 women that has been injured. Serenity and Peace also said, "That's it, sis, until they turn from their wicked ways." Serenity and Peace, it's a bunch of hypocrites running around here. While everyone is focused on nonsense, focus on uh, getting a lick back over pettiness, and not focus on the real issues, we're going to always have this problem. Always. It's a bunch of fake politicians and a bunch of fake community activists walking around Flint. And they playing in our faces. And it's also a bunch of fake, toxic outsiders, or excuse me, it's a bunch of toxic outsiders that are pretending to be sincere about being concerned about Flint. Notice that I'm saying the word toxic. If you are an outsider, if you live outside of Flint or outside of the state of Michigan and you are sincere, I am not speaking to you. I shouldn't even have to say that. But I'm going to just make that disclaimer. I'm so sick of this. But week after week, day after day, people get on in front of the camera, hooping and hollering about a bunch of nothing. Here we go again, a cycle of nothingness, distractions. Exactly, Brandon. Little mama. Exactly. Unfortunately, it seems to be happening all over the country. Flint and Chicago are looking like one and the same. Yes, ma'am. Cry loud and spare not. Thank you, little mama. Leave that fake, chemically mind altering mess alone. Please do, because you're embarrassing yourselves. And those that are close to you are allowing you, your so called friends, your so called family, They're allowing you to look ridiculous. They're allowing you to be so doped up that you are embarrassing yourself. Those are not your friends. Your real friends was the one that you got rid of that was trying to hold you accountable. Serenity and peace. God will reveal it. Things are already starting to unfold. Yes, and serenity and peace. Thank you for saying that because I had a talk with a sister recently, like actually it was yesterday, and we were debriefing about the prayer and fast that we just did. This sister participated in it. And we both came to the conclusion that things would not change right away, right? And that quite possibly things would get worse before they get better. And I guess that's where we're at. But I still would like, I really wish, I really want the majority of us to really take what we say we are seriously. I would like to see that. It's too many fake and phonies walking around here, too many distractions. Well, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I again, my condolences goes out to the little girl's family, to everyone that knew and loved her, and to everyone that was there and experienced that trauma. My heart really goes out to everyone. I'm sure more stuff will go out as time progresses. I pray that I didn't say anything wrong. I pray that I didn't share misinformation. Um, Sometimes it is wise to sit back and wait until you respond to a situation. I usually like to take 3 days, but Spirit led me to say something, so I'm going to say it. And I said what was in my heart and what I felt. And this is also personal for me because more and more I see how much my children are affected by this. I truly see this. And even though we, have healthy conversations and I do mental check-ins with them, it's very interesting. It's also sad. But it's just interesting to see how they process their environments that they're in, how their awareness has kicked up a notch now after they experienced what they experienced a few weeks ago. So, if I said anything that maybe I shouldn't have said, may Allah forgive me. I hope I didn't misspeak on the situation itself. So I'm just basically getting information from my timeline on social media and watching live videos, etc. So let me pull up Little Mama's comment before I close out. Little Mama, my condolences goes out to all that has been hurt or affected by the acts of the foolish tonight. I mean, I mean, all right, y'all. I pray for everyone to protect themselves spiritually and otherwise. Pray over yourself, your family, your children, all of your family, your friends, your household, your community, and be aware of your surroundings. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Peace.